Once again, big surprise up here in Canada, the weather is miserable outside, so we're in the kitchen again. Considering I bought myself a pasta roller probably about 5 years ago and have never ever used it, I thought, hey, good a time as any. So that's what we're doing today. So the list of ingredients for this could not be more simple. Basically all you need is flour and eggs. And I've got it all measured out, but the general rule for flour and eggs is for every 100 grams of flour, you're going to use 1 egg. So I've got 200 grams of flour measured out here and 2 eggs. In this one we've got 150 grams of durum flour, which is a little thicker, a little coarser. It's going to stand up. Some people might say use semolina flour. Semolina is a type of durum flour. It's a bit rougher in texture, and that's, you'd want semolina if you wanted a harder pasta, if you wanted something like, I don't know, long spaghetti noodles that are going to hold up, like the store-bought stuff. Durum will give you a softer consistency in the end, and that's sort of what I'm getting at because you'll see after what I'm making with the pasta. And then in a lot of Italian kitchens, you'll hear them talking about double O flour. I don't have any double O flour. I have no intention of going out and getting double O flour for probably $5 for 2 pounds worth. So this is all purpose, which will do just about the same from everything I've been told. Eggs, whatever you like. Large white ones will do. Okay. I have never ever done this before. Normally when I do a video, I'll do a quick practice, something like that. I have not done this before. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. I made pasta once upon a time, probably about 15 years ago or so, from scratch. So, this could be fun. So, the traditionalists and the hipsters will all say, get your pasta, or get your dough, or get your flour. Yeah, that's what it's called, flour. You mix all that together and just dump it right on the counter. Yes, I cleaned the counter. And then you make your little well. And into your little well go your little eggs. So I'll just gently tap, and right away toss a piece of shell in there. There we go. One down. See if I can do this one a bit smoother. Nope. 2 bits of shell. I don't eat many eggs. Gently move that around. See if we can get it mixed into the flour. You'll see it's going to start slowly bringing in some of the flour. You can sort of help that along. Take your time, no rush. I'm not going anywhere. It's freezing outside. There's about 1.5 feet of snow on the ground. I'm in for the day. You can see it's just picking up like that. Easy peasy, as they say, right? And that's picked up enough. And just sort of fold this in by hand. Just take that off. Just going to start pushing that in. With the heel of your hand rolling over it. Try to keep one hand clean, just in case. go, you got the beginnings of a dough ball right there. So if you look at it and it looks a bit dry to you, don't panic. Just take a little bit of water. And by little, I mean little. That was basically just dipping my fingers in straight on the dough. And you can already see it's a lot more solid than it was. Get all the bits up. So I've kneaded this for roughly 4 minutes. And again, pushing down on it all the time with the heel of your hand. What you're doing is activating the gluten strands, getting them to loosen up and become more elastic. And that will allow them to stretch, obviously, if it's elastic, and shape into pasta. Before you quite get there though, you can let the sucker rest. So when you got it roughly in the shape that you, consistency that you want, it's going to form a little ball. Touch more water, touch more dough. There you go, you got your dough ball. Get the stuff off your fingers and put it on there too. This is the reason I said keep a clean hand, because now I gotta open this drawer. And you take out the plastic wrap. Wrap your dough just like that, and that's going to go in the fridge for about half an hour to rest, like I said. So I'll see you in half an hour. Basic trick for when you're roasting red peppers: turn your gas on, take your pepper, throw it on there. Come back when it's done. It's been 15 minutes now, so that means that pepper that I did before is ready to be peeled. You take this off. So by putting it in here, you've basically trapped it in the steam and all that smoky flavor. So all this black is ready to just peel right off. So that's all we're going to do right now. I'm just going to use the same paper towel I just wiped the mushrooms with. And you can see that come right off. Just like that. It is that easy to do. It's like I said, sitting in that smoky flavor and sitting in that steam, it's already separated from the fire. You're good to go. The last thing you want to do is wash this though, obviously, because as soon as you wash it again, you're going to get water into it. You're going to lose all that flavor that you've just taken all that time to develop. You've just taken roughly half an hour to get that pepper to that point. Don't rinse it off. Try your best. Just same as a mushroom. Get a damp cloth if you have to. Get all that off. Don't worry if it's not all off. It's still pepper. It's a little crispy, charred, but it's still bits of pepper. At that point, you're okay. There you go. In this container is today's secret ingredient. Tell them what is one, Bob. This has been sitting in my fridge for probably about 2 years now. That's one hint. Second hint, I got a plastic cutting board. What could possibly live in your fridge for 2 years, Neil, you say? Well, let me show you. White goo. Just kidding. This is fat. And underneath the fat, somewhere down there, is a duck confit that I made before I moved into this house about 2 years ago. Now, normally they say, yeah, you can do confit and it can sit in your fridge and it lasts about 6 months or something like that. But to be honest, I've just never had the time or the inclination to play with it. So we're going to find out today just how long duck confit does last. I'm going to tell you as soon as I get this fat off. And I'll say, it probably doesn't look the greatest, but at the same time, for a piece of meat that's been in the fridge, like I said, for 2 years, it doesn't look half bad. I think I described this process in one of my other videos, but confit is exactly what I've done here. It's preserving meat in its own fat. So basically the start of the process is you would salt this duck leg heavily, get most of the moisture out, and you would put it in a pan, submerge it in its own fat. This is all duck fat, by the way. Don't throw this out. This is gold. Submerge it in its own fat at a low temperature, say between 250 and 300, and you'd let it go in the oven for maybe 2-3 hours, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Basically until you can sort of pop the bone, just with any other meat. Like, you know when you do ribs and you pop the bone and it just slides right out. It's the same thing with the duck. Once that bone is loose and wiggling, that basically means you're done. And then you take it out, you cool it down, all the fat hardens, submerge it completely, make sure nothing's showing on the top, and like I said, it's good. I don't want to say indefinitely, but we're going to find out today if it's good for 2 years or not. So I'll get all the excess fat off, and I'm just going to bring them back up to temperature a bit, and then I'm going to shred the meat off. This stuff's already cooked, so all I'm doing right now is warming it up, and I'm going to take all that extra fat off. No need to leave it in, get it crispy or anything like that. Because basically all I'm doing is getting the fat off, and then I'm going to shred that meat. I'm going to saute off all the rest of the ingredients, mix it together into some kind of filling, and then we're going to roll out the dough and make some raviolo. E-I-O-E-S something. Basically what I wanted to do, get the fat out. So I'm just going to take these off the heat. They're on the board, I'll give them a minute. As I said, liquid gold. So what you're going to do now is you're going to go get all your other ingredients back. I might have done a few too many onions here. A little too much, so we'll just do one of those. Yeah, screw it. that down to medium or so. And I'm going to take a couple of these lovely little nuggets. That's what I do for fun in my spare time. Buy garlic when it's cheap and then sit there and peel it all night. Not even mincing it, just throwing it in. I've just smashed it. Basically, with garlic, what you've got is sort of a root piece in the middle, as you can see right there. You can get it out. You get that long piece of root in the middle that usually starts growing the green bit on the end, and then you've got the rest of the garlic. So what happens when you mash those two together, that's when garlic gets strong. If you leave it whole and slow roasted, or you just mash it up a little bit like that, it stays sweeter. It's not as harsh. So we'll give that a go. That's sort of halfway there. We'll throw in the mushrooms. Turn it down even more. And these wonderful peppers we spent so much time on. Get it all in there. And then on top of that, we'll add a little bit of thyme. A little bit of thyme, because thyme goes with basically everything. A little bit of pepper. Just because. A little bit of salt. Why not? I know you want to see it. Here we go. That's good. If I never do another video, it wasn't good. I think, what the hell, we'll just go with the white stuff. Treat myself, right? That should be enough. Nice big slab of parm. Just gonna grate some of that up, put it right in there, right in the mix. And that is the stuffing. Turn that off, let that cool down, and we're going to work on the pasta. Okay, so in the end, the pasta set for an hour. It's okay. Sits a little longer, it sits a little longer. It just gets a little more time to expand and relax and chill out like a good pasta ball should. So, there you have it. I'll get a ball. Just going to break off a piece. Or not. Start working it. Molded it into that. Take my flour, dip it on the counter, and just give it a roll. You don't need this yet, so we'll move that out of the way. I got half a rolling pin. Maybe that's my next woodworking job. Again, really cold in the garage. get us going on it. So there is one thing that you can alter on this contraption, and that's the thickness gauge over here. So you're going to start at 1, which is the widest setting. You're just going to stuff that in there, move it, like I said, so the thing can actually turn. Just going to drop that in there, and you do have to hold the machine a bit. And out it comes. Fold it over and do it again. That's actually pretty cool, isn't it? I have made pasta! Okay, got some filling here. Just gonna stuff these as best I can. There's quite a bit of grease in these, I guess, from the truffle oil and the duck. Pull it over. And they are quite small, so they are going to be a little finicky. I guess obviously the other way to do this is you leave one big sheet on the table, you put your little dollops there, you cover it with the other sheet, and then you cut around them, but I just wanted to make things difficult, didn't I? Ha ha ha! Silly Neil. Alright, now we'll see if we can try and make them look pretty. So that's all the stuff I just chopped up. We'll put some of that down on the plate to give it a bit of color. Yeah. Trio of pasta shells sounds about right. Yeah, that one's done. It's like an appetizer. Yeah, look at that, all fancy. And then we'll just, oh, prosciutto. Put some bits of prosciutto here and there. Can never go wrong with anything that comes from a pig. Little bits here and there. Got some apple. Apple slices just to lighten it up. I thought, you know, duck, apple, apple, duck. They're good friends, right? So yeah, spread some of that around. Make it pretty. Who doesn't love parm? Don't know, but I don't want to meet them. Put some flakes of parm around the plate. Get some bigger flakes. Spread it in like that. And I got some grapes. Keep it light again, just to cut through the richness of the truffle oil. Spread some grapes around. That nice little tang. Something like that. And then we get some pink Himalayan sea salt. That's what everybody needs. Does it actually come out pink? Because that'll look really cool. Can't really see it now. Pink in the jar, that's about it. And then because I put the white truffle oil in, which is very rich, I'm just going to use some of the English truffle, which is much milder. And again, very slightly I said, and then I go put a big whole gob on there. Alright, well, you get the idea. So just do that, and then, because I made a big mess, I'm just going to clean the plate. And there you have, oh, you know what else? Bunch of chives sitting over there. Just take a bit of that, and sorry, I thought I saw a deer in the yard again. We'll just snip some chives. Not the proper way to do it, but hey, last minute thought. I think that looks alright. Might actually order that. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed that, subscribe. If you didn't and you're still here, thanks too.